books, right?
No.
So we can go with concepts then. So that will be easy. I mean, if I read and do it instead of that, this will be better, easy for us. So now there is a prakriya. I mean, the way how to determine this, understand this Tatvamasi, there is a prakriya in Tarka Shastra. That is what we have to do. In any word, any sentence, there are two ways to accept it. Yadhartha, that means as it is. I am thirsty. We know it. He is thirsty. You can get a glass of water, a bottle kind of thing. Bottle of water. Right? So that is very well known. Mukhya Artha. That is called Mukhya Artha. Exactly what he is saying. The words itself resemble the same thing. There is nothing like I need to think. Get some pen. It is, that's it. You need not really think. But if I say, when I am coming here and I said, oh, I might die with this heat, will you really call to my home and say that there is a serious condition happening and call an ambulance? No, you will very well understand that heat is giving me such a pain. That's why I used a word that I am writing. So that monkeys are, maybe they are making some noise. If I say, monkeys are killing me, do you really call police station and say there is some murder going to happen? No, right? That means you can't go with this mukhya artha every time. Exact meaning, word to word kind of thing. Then what should we do? Gauna artha, lakshana artha, those are the words. That means intention. We need to understand the intention. What the Vedam or Guru is intended to tell, what they are trying to teach. So Tatvamasi, that is you. That means it is not that they are saying Almighty, everywhere, Sarva Vyapakatva is you. First you have to understand what is you first of all. We will stuck with Dehatma Bhranti only, right? If someone asks you who are you, obviously we will tell our name. What is the name? For this body. That too, when we get birth, for 10 days we don't have this name also. After that we got name. What are we that time? If we keep thinking, that's how that vichara will fructify. So then, we have to leave that mukhya artha, I mean exact word-to-word meaning, literal meaning, and understand this gauna artha or intention, lakshana artha. That means what is it trying to teach me? That we will try to understand today. So now, as I said, mukhya arthas we can understand. Whatever we say, that literally we can understand the words. Then to decipher this Tatvamasi, there are like 3 things we have to understand from Tarka itself. Little complicated. The reason is these wordings are new to you, these terminologies. 4 or 5 times if you listen. After listening to this, when you open any book in fact, like Viveka Chudamani or whatever, you will see the same things. Then you can correlate and you will understand properly. So there is a prakriya called Ajah-lakshanam. Jahat in Sanskrit is leaving, keeping that apart. So first portion we have to understand is Ajah-lakshanam. Ajah-lakshanam. That's what we call it. Using this Ajah-lakshanam, what is the Ajah-lakshanam? What are we leaving? Means in the sentence whatever we are picking, we have to leave something to understand it better. For that, Acharya gave an example, Gangayaha Ghoshaha. That means there are houses in Ganga river. Can it happen? Are they like Aquaman's family? No, right? So what is the intention they are trying to say? That means we have to leave that Gangayam, Ganga Yandu, I mean in the Ganga, we have to leave it. And we have to add something like Ganga Tire Ghoshaha. I mean, near the Ganga river, there are these houses. So that's how we have to add it. Then we will understand the full meaning. Otherwise, we don't understand how they are talking. Are they really talking about some species that live in the water? We will get confused. So that's why Mukhya Artha will never work in these kind of things. You ask from where are you coming, I'll say I am just from Guru Nivas. You cannot say, are you staying with Guruji? No, I went for darshan. You can literally tell, Guruji, where the Guruji stays? Guru Nivas only. See, both are same. So when I say Guruji is in Guru Nivas, you have to take Mukhya Artha there. When I say I came from Guruji, you have to take Gauna Artha. So in practice, do it. You will understand. Okay? So now why I am telling this Ajah-lakshana is, for Tatvamasi, You are that. So can we leave anything like that? So can I leave? Now we understand what Tat is something, the Brahman itself, which is paroksha, different from us. We are trying to find it kind of thing. That is called paroksha. Tvam, when I say me, when I am talking about I, us, then we are talking about aparoksha, which is non-different from me. Right? So it might sound a little weird, but it is like that in English. Which is non-different from me. The body, when we open all this, remove all these sheaths, what is left over, which is the druk in myself. So that is Tvam Padartha, which is aparoksha. There is no difference between I. When I say I, that is actual I. So now, Ajah-lakshana. Can I use Ajah-lakshana for this one? Tatvamasi. Can I say, can I leave completely and say Tatvamasi, leave that Tat and say Tvam Asi. You are only there. Can I say like that? It is not at all. I mean, why Veda will use that there? So can't people like us with common sense were able to do this one. Can't Veda do it? It can very well say Tvamasi. It did not do it. Can we say Tatasi? It has no meaning. Asi is like unity, right? There should be two. The problem is there are two. But in Gangayam Ghosha, we say Ganga Tira, we have to add it something to get the meaning. But in Tatvamasi, we need not add something to get a meaning. We have to understand as is. So that's why adding some other word for Tatvamasi will not make any sense. We have to understand Tatvamasi as is. So this Ajah-lakshanam will not give us any way to understand Tatvamasi Mahavakya. Now we are understanding Gauna Lakshanartha or Gaunartha or Lakshanartha, and we try to imply this Ajah-lakshanam to Tatvamasi. It's like a mathematical equation. Will it suit with the Ajah-lakshanam? Can I achieve Tatvamasi with this Ajah-lakshanam? What is Ajah-lakshanam? With that word, can I add something else to understand the meaning? Not required, it will not happen. Because Tatvamasi is full. Ganga Tira is something, it is together. Ganga and Tira is something which is together. But Tatvamasi is something we feel it is opposite or completely different. So it cannot be like we have to add something again. Then it becomes three. We are complicating the statement again. So Ajah-lakshana will not work, so we are keeping it aside. Second way of dealing this is in the Lakshanartha, Ajah-lakshana. Ajah-lakshana. That means not leaving the actual Mukhyartha or taking, not leaving the actual one, but adding something else. I will explain with a good example. That means this is Ajah-lakshana. Jahat is leaving. Ajahat is not leaving, but understanding something else. So now one good example every teacher generally says is, there is a small child in the home and mother. So mother wants to go for a quick visit for a nearby temple. So she instructs that kid to take care of the curd in the kitchen. So you have to protect this curd from crows. Right? So she says that Kakepyah Ajah-lakshanartha, something. From crows you have to protect this curd. And she left for temple. Now a dog came. What should he do? His mother said, you have to protect curd from crows. Now a dog came. So what should he do? Should he just leave it? Or is he bypassing his mother's command? So now we have to, that's what, it is not Mukhya Artha, it is Gauna Artha, Lakshanartha. His mother's intention is to protect curd, not to just get away with crows or something. Even if it is a human coming and touching that curd, he should say no to. So, Kakebhyaha Kaketara Dati Ghatakaha. That is what we have to keep this kaki, this crow, and any other which are intended to spoil this curd. He should protect the curd from all these things. So now, you understand these two things, right? Ajah-lakshanam. We added something and took a new meaning. We left actual Gangayam. We left Gangayam and we added Ganga Tire. Now we are not leaving this Kakepya. Even if the crow comes, definitely he should protect the curd. Any other animal or any being comes, still he needs to protect the curd. That means kaki, that crow is there, plus any other. He took this meaning, plus he added any other thing, implied this Gaunartha. So that is Ajah-lakshana. So can we try to imply or apply this Ajah-lakshana to the Tatvamasi then? Then what? So I want to say that this Tvam, which Padartha is I, which is Kinchigna, limited to this body with my ignorance. And I am taking this, and also there is a Supreme God who is everywhere, in every time. Can I take like that? Then what is the point of Vedanta? I mean, if someone wants to say there is a Dvaita in Vedanta, they want to prove it, for example. Why a Shastra is required? Can't you see something different from you? That Vishwam is different and you are different. Dvaita is there. Then why a Shastra is required to achieve a Dvaita? Not required. But why we are having Shastras is, though you are witnessing, experiencing Dvaita Prapancha here, like a Drusya, in Vyavahara Jagat, this materialistic world, but the reality is different. They are same. This is superimposed, including your own body. The problem is still we see I am different from this nature. We are part of nature. What is me? It is underlying Brahman itself. With ignorance, we are unable to understand. So I cannot take like I am Tvam, I am Tat also. Like Ajah-lakshana. That is like crazy, right? So that will never happen. That's what Dvaita, there is a problem to apply Shastras to Dvaita. Just like it is like a force fitting, just like to satisfy their own philosophy. So that will never happen. Then what should we do? That's why there is a prakriya called Jahata-Lakshana. Like a combination of Jahat and Ajahat Lakshana. The Jahata-Lakshana is something, I will take something, I will leave something. I know this looks like a mathematics or something, but concepts are like that in Vedanta. This is very easy actually. Blessed are we are not studying Sanskrit, then Vakhyana, then trying to interpret. At least we are just giving an English translation. But 2-3 times, that's what I keep telling my students also. Any Vedanta scripture, any new thing in fact. See, we bought a new phone. From day one, are we thorough with all the apps everywhere, whatever we do? We cannot. If someone wants to migrate from this Android to iPhone or vice versa, so how painful it will be? So like that, when we are like habituated with this Dvaita Prapancha and Vyavaharika Jagat, suddenly we say these concepts to understand, obviously it will be difficult for us to digest. In Telugu they say tinaga vemu tiyagundunam. If you keep eating even bitter things, you will habituate it. Then you will understand that sweetness in that. So it takes little time. So what I say my students is, you have to imagine these studies as like painting. Maybe you have one or the other time you have witnessed or did painting or saw painting, how it happens in your house. Not that very first day when you appoint that painter, he just comes and just give a paint, one coating paint and he just leaves. He will never do that. First he has to remove the scrap. That means all predetermined notions came from Janmas, not now. Not just from our childhood. It was there like a vasana, like a bijas, like an instincts we have. So we have to remove them first. Then that wall should be ready for some time. Then they will again try to remove the scrap or something. After that, they will do some kind of coating. Why that coating is required? For painting. The coating is not for wall. The painting stays as is, but this should stay in between. That white color coating, something they will do. And primer, right? That they will do for 2-3 coats also, based on the condition. Based on our chitta shuddhi, that shravanam will increase or decrease, we don't know. It cannot decrease, minimum will be there. How many times we have to do that? So, like that 2 times coating, 3 times coating, or sometimes, if the wall is not proper, there are like holes or more sand while the builder, for his economical purpose, if he does that, again that should be filled. Then he comes with one coating of what we are selecting the color. Then again to second day he will come. Then he will paint beside that and he will match whether are they same. So that's how what we listen, what we read, what we practice, again it should match with Shastras. That's why what is Shraddha is Shastrasya Guruvakyasya Yaya Vastupalabhyate. That's what, when you know Shastra Guruvakyam, Shastrasya Guruvakyasya Satya Buddhyavadharana Sa Shraddha Katita Siddhi Satbhi Yaya Vastupalabhyate. You have to have super trust on Guru's word and Shastra's word. Who is that Guru? Who says Shastra? What is that Shastra? That Guru also should say the same Shastra. It cannot be like Guru on his own tell some new things, what we keep seeing now. They have their own agendas, badges, uniforms. It cannot be like that. Shastra, the parampara should be there. So that's why then how we get some, for a small house, how for a small coloring thing, it takes these many steps. Think about our life. We have so much that Janma Samskaras will have, that Vasanas will be there, the instincts will be there. So it takes time. So you have to practice a lot. It cannot be like 2 days we got, we'll achieve something. May not be. If we are giving that kind of signal or something, we are actually telling a wrong thing. So this is a very good foundational best step that we can very well achieve Vedanta, experience Vedanta very well with enough of practice. That is the only intention of these Vedanta Shibiras. So you have to understand that. It cannot be like tomorrow some magic will happen. Uddharer Atmanatmanam. So we have to experience ourselves only. So that we have to keep in mind. It cannot be like everything will be purified. Can I leave my satkarmas? So that is a problem. When someone says about Vedanta, they will say, can I leave Sanyavana? So if someone asks to, do you want a curry for your rice? Does that mean you stop the food from here, eat curry and go? No, right? For food we want all the items. When it comes to Vedanta, can I leave something? So that's the human tendency. We feel it is burdened. It cannot be like that. Why should it not be? When we say Vedanta, why should we get headaches or pains or sleep? Why should we get? If, for example, when they introduced me, obviously how will be my feeling? Oh, they are talking about my Guru. They are giving my introduction. Everybody, right? And after some time they say, okay, though they were sitting, they studied these many things, they traveled so much distance and they are staying here, they have good satkarma. Then how you will feel? Great about us, right? If someone talks about us, we really feel great about us. Obviously, that's a tendency. Then when we are talking Vedanta, which is knowing about ourselves only. When I am saying Tattam Tvam Sarva Vyapakatva Anantam Brahma Satyajnanam Anantam Brahma, I am not talking about some subject. I am talking about you. Very well, ourselves. Why are we not getting that ananda, happiness? That means when we are listening, we are thinking, we are talking about some subject, something different. That is the problem. Someone is talking about me, right? When a lecturer or someone is just distributing a praises, someone knows I also got first rank, and someone will talk about me. How curious they will be. When the name comes, immediately they rush and see, is my known person watching me? Everybody is saying, this is my proud moment. Is someone taking me right photo? Take one more photo. Then it should happen very well when we are listening to Vedanta, because we are talking about ourselves. So keep that in mind. Whenever you are talking about Vedanta, it is it is myself. If I am not getting happiness, that means I am disconnected somewhere. I am not understanding, this is my subject. They are talking about myself. That itself is Tatvamasi. Right? Now again, switching back to our Tatvamasi, Ajah-lakshana. It is like a sandwich approach. I want to give a break, but obviously we have to finish the course. Okay? Now, Ajah-lakshana. We have to leave something and pick something. It is very easy to understand. That means, maybe if you open your wallets or purse, you might have your Aadhaar cards or whatever you will have. You will have your own photos. Is it like today, exact moment, is it taken? No, right? Roughly some years back. I don't say maybe 10 years, 15 years, maybe 2 years only, we don't know. But if I ask who is that, you will say it is me. You might not look like that. Is that photo you? No. But that is a representation of you. That's how I can misuse it as well. Right? So like that, What I am doing is, but here why I am saying this example is, that time, period, situation, place is different when you had this photo, your childhood memory photo. The time is different, maybe you are like 5 years or 6 years old. And your body itself is different completely, not the way we are now. And the place, we are in Shrungeri now. That time maybe your own places. But when I show that photo, or when we see that own photo of ourselves, we say that is very well, it's me. But that time is different, that place is different, you don't look like that. How can you say that is me? Then what you have to say? Okay sir, we understand your problem, you are unable to interpret properly. Remove that place. You remove Srungeri, remove that Bhagyanagara or whatever, Karnataka place, whatever it is, your Bangalore, that place. That time, 5 years time, remove it. Now 50 years or what years, remove this. Same person remain. I mean, if you remove the time and space, even now time and space, who is left over? It's me. That's why I know that is me even that time. Even I know that is me even now. I am not changing with the time or with the place. What did we do now? Unknowingly we did Ajah-lakshana prakriya. What did we remove? Time and space we removed. What did we retain? Me. That is what we did. Now come to Tatvamasi. For Tat, which is Ananta Vyapakatvat, Nirguna, Nirakara, everything. That is Tat. Sarvagnata, otherwise. It is Sarvagnata, Sarvavyapi. I mean, it knows everything. It is like Sarvagna and it is Sarvavyapi everywhere. What is me? I am Kinchigna. I have a limitation. And this body, I am limited to this body now. With my ignorance, that understand. I am saying that with our ignorance only. Like Akasha or air in a pot thinks I am limited to this pot itself. That is how the jivas are in this body. But there is already a connection with the Akasha in the pot and the Ananta Akasha everywhere. But if we want to change the perception from the pot's view, then we say this is pot. Pot has air. But what we have to understand is our air, space, Akasha. Remember that. Akasha is everywhere, Akasha is there. Just visualize this example. It is a very good example in Gaudapada Karikas in Mandukya Upanishad. Akasha is everywhere. Akasha is not sky, it is space. Right? Don't say Akasha is that Vyavaharika Akasha. We are dealing with Vedanta now. Panchabhuta Akasha. So space, think there is space here, okay? It is space. No need to think, there is a space. Now I got some mud, clay, and I prepared one pot here. Now, is space existed before pot? It is there. When the pot is there, is Akasha there? Still there. The problem is because of pot is formed, I am thinking space is outside and also inside the pot. After some time, pot is destroyed or broken. Then what is still remain? Akasha, space is there. That is the Jivatma. That means we are always there, but when the thought of ignorance came with the Dehatma Bhranti that I am this body, we limited that framework and thinking here, we are unable to see outside what is happening. With the help of Shastras and Gurus, we will understand the concept. Once this acceptance is there, then we practice it. Then we will find what is the truth with the Nidhi, etc. So that is what happened. So now the Tat, the Sarva Vyapakatvam and Sarvagnatvam, that Sarva, remove that. Here, Kinchignata, Kinchit Vyapakatvam, Kinchit, remove that. That Jna is there, right? Jna, which is known, which is knowing, that seer. That is always same here and there also. That is how that Tat, Tvam, Asi can be established with this. You got it? You understand this part? So we have to remove the limitations. Say for example, if I am saying Indra is a great god, and I am saying I am a person on this earth. Now to understand what big, I mean he is a god, leaving the Shastras apart, is to understand. it is also one of the place. That Swargaloka is also one of the 14 bhuvanas, right? Like how the earth is one bhuvanam, one place, that is loka, that is also one of the loka, that Swargaloka, that's it. And like how I am a being here with some 100 years maximum time, tenure. There Indra will have some maybe like 1 lakh years of tenure comparing to earth period only. For him, he still feels it is 100 years only. A mosquito, if you see, maybe maximum it lives for 2 days, I don't know, could be. Comparing to our time zone, I mean, from our time zone, we will say, I live like 100 years, it lives only 2 years. What do I do 100 years? I eat, I sleep, I reproduce, right? I keep gathering food for them. Maybe happiness, sadness, done. What does it do for 2 days? Same. And that mosquito feels, I lived full, complete. They don't feel like I lived only 2 days, that fellow is living for 100 days. It will not. Likewise, even when Indra compares to us, we are like mosquitoes. He feels like human janma is waste. But we are full on our own. Like that, that's why Purnamida, Purnamidam, Purnat, Purnamadacha, everything is full. Because that fullness, completeness is not our own guna. It is a Brahma Tattva guna. It's not this body's thing, what we got at time. Like Nayati, nobody will be there except me. So that's why we'll get scared. What is he talking? What we have never born, what is it? So that's why they'll say, learn this, do punya karyas. You'll get amruta tattvam. Because we fear death, right? We fear of death. At least till that stage we'll take, then the gnana will, obviously that will come to you, then we'll feel, okay, I was never born. That's why if you take a core Advaitin scriptures, like for example Ramana Maharshi's talks, Nisargadatta Maharaj, there is some person. So these will be, you can't really digest them directly. That's what we have to go with Shankaracharya's approach. In any point of time, you will not fall or fail. It's like a fall proof, fail proof. That means, though if you fail in the sadhana, achieve understanding the Atma Tattva, still you will end up with a very good life, which will definitely take you near to some nice acharya, and that will complete our purpose, that moksha sadhana. But if you say, if you leave all satkarmas and just go with the this text and say that I was never born, I will be with that contemplation, it cannot happen. Because that comes with sadhana chatushtayam, purna vairagya. It cannot be like just like that, I can misuse the words, right? That's what happening these days. We cannot like Advaita Trishulokeshu, Nadvaita Gurusama also they say. I mean, you have to Bhavadvaitam, this is also very nice one, you have to understand. Bhavadvaitam sada kuryat, Kriyadvaitam nakarhichit, Advaitam Trishukaleshu, Nadvaitam Gurusama. You have to learn or by heart these things. Whenever you have doubt, come to the basics and understand. What is it saying is Bhavadvaitam sada kuryat. The Advaitam should be in Bhavam, the understanding, experiencing. That means go to that Mukhyartha, Gaunartha. The intention should be Advaita. There is no difference between you and me. That doesn't mean you and me are different. Different with bodily limitations. That's what in Manisha Panchakamsa he clearly says. When that Chandala says, when Shankaracharya says Gacha Gacha, just move away. That is not wrong, right? People say because Shankaracharya has some caste feeling or whatever, that's why he said move. Right? If I come here and someone is already just playing here on small kid or someone, obviously I'll say, hey, this is my time, can you just, whoever the parent is, can you just take him out? Doesn't mean that I am just abusing the child or mistreating or ill-treating the children, right? If I'm just, when I'm just getting down, maybe you are sitting here, I'll always say, please, can you please move, I have to go there. Doesn't mean that you are my enemy or you are like untouchable kind of thing. It cannot be like I walk through you, right? So that is how Manisha Panchaka comes. That's the misconcept people take, that he has something, that's why he said ask him to move. Then the great situation appeared. Chandala himself asked, what are you asking to move? Is it a five Panchabhutatmaka body? Or which is same, this Atma which is not different from you and me, which one? Then he explains the same concepts what we all discussed. Not these 5 sheets or something, not this Jagrat, Swapna, Sushupti, but whatever is common in all the things, like Anvaya Vyatireka Paddhati, we say, which is the Sakshi for Sakshi, that is the one. But when you say Dehatma, when you with the Dehatma, Bhranti, obviously all the rules applies. Say for example, I am a Brahman. What I am saying Brahman? This body, right? In a dream, will I also do Sandhya Vandanas and all these Karmanushtana, will I get sin? No. Nothing like that. So the physical body has these problems. But for Vedanta, there is no limitations for anything. If I want to study Veda, maybe there are some limitations. Only certain set of people should read or study. But for practicing Vedanta, Manushya Matrena, Manushyatvam, Mumukshatvam, Mahapurusha Samshrayaha, that's it. As a human birth itself gives you the moksha, but the practice should be there. What is the practice? Some practice for Brahmin is different, from practice for other people is different. No. Everybody should go through this Viveka Vairagya, this one's Sadhana Chatushtayam. So if there are any people having this kind of blockages, mental blockages, we have to remove collectively. So that for Vedanta there is no limitations at all. But when it comes to ritual, every rule will apply. That's why you have to be careful. Though Shankaracharya realizes that Chandala is a great supreme himself, he did not start a new sect or Guru Parampara from there. Right? Have to be very careful in this manner. Now if a person like me reads one text and keep telling, they will say, Guruji, he is telling some good things. He can also speak in English. So let us form one uniform, one tagline, one YouTube video. That is what is happening these days. Everybody is like Gurus. So very sad reality. So that should not happen. Purvaihi Purva Parampara. That's what Gita also says. Purva Parampara, that should carry on. Like that, Bhavadvaitam Sadakuriya. That's what Shankaracharya says. In Bhavam, you and me are same. Because what I am thinking, which is that removing this body 5 sheets, that Panchakosha Vicharana after that, what remained that Duruk. And if you also have that kind of contemplation, Chandalosu Satudvijosu Prirityesha Mishamama. If you have that contemplation, you are same. There is no difference. But if you don't have the contemplation, if you say all these humbug stories, you have to literally move that time. So that's what he said. Bhavadvaitam sada kuryat. Every time you should have that Advaita Bhavana in your mind. It should keep going. Kriyadvaitam na karhichit. When you are doing a ritual, kriya, practice, that will not work. You cannot say this Annamaya, this is Annam, like food is Annamaya Kosha, this is Annamaya Kosha, I won't eat. Gone case. So we cannot do that. That's why you have to know how to apply your Advaita also. Likewise, Bhavadvaitam Sadakuryat, Kriyadvaitam Nakarhichit, Advaitam Trishu Kaleshu. All this every time in Jagrat Swapna Shushiti Avastha also, this Advaitam you need to practice slowly. Nadvaitam Guru Sama. This is important. You cannot say Guru and me are same and just put a hand on him. Always Guru is Guru only. That's it. Then how come? When you are saying everything is same, but the Guru is a form taken for realizing us, not for him. Right? Vasantaloka hitan charantaha. He is already realized soul. Why he is talking? Why he is giving instructions? For our sake. Why is Chandramoleshwara Puja? For Guru's sake? Nothing. Loka Kalyanardam. Why is making us to do Panchakshari Japan, etc.? Will he get anything? Nothing. He already achieved everything. But for Loka Kalyanarda, Uddhared Atmanatmanam, unless I do something, I won't get anything. The karma will lead to some action. That comes a good deed. So that is the Loka Kalyana. Not everybody is Vedantic and I will do a karma sannyasa and do, right? We cannot, that is not easy as we say. That's why we need to have karma nishta to become a karma yogi. Right? Then you become a karma sannyasi. It cannot be like, let me do karma sannyasa. To do karma sannyasa, you should do karma nishta first. I am not doing anything, and a fool will not do anything. Then what is the difference? Right? A dumb fellow cannot speak. A Muni will not speak. Doesn't mean both are same. So it is like that Advaitam. That's why Nadvaitam Guru Sama. Still we respect Guru. Why we respect Guru? He is no different from a God or Supreme Brahman. Am I saying that? We know that, right? Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Guru Namaha. If you want to see this Vyavaharika Jagat, like a Srishti Sthiti Laya happened, that is every form is Guru itself. What is he doing as a Brahma? What is he doing as a Vishnu? What is he doing as a Layakaraka Rudra something? That means he is removing our ignorance. He is stabilizing that knowledge within us. He is giving the seeds of the knowledge. Like that, he is a Trimurtatmakam Guru. Is he limited to this form? No. Guru Sakshat Parabrahma. He is a Nirguna Parabrahma himself. So now when we read this sloka, you should feel that. That's why they say, Yasya Deve Parabhaktir Yada Deve Tada Guru Tasyete Karta Hirta Prakashanti Mahatmanaha. The person who has non-difference between Guru and Daiva will reach heights in anything, though he reads or though he doesn't read, but he wants to understand. Tasyete Katita Hirda Tasyete Katita Akhayarda. That means whatever we read, we can understand it with the grace of the Guru and God. Even if we don't study, somehow that spurna will come for us. So that's the magic of surrendering ourselves with Guru. So that's why don't feel that Guru, when the Guru comes, we have to do that Ashtanga, we have to obey all these things. Cannot be like we and Guru are same. We cannot imitate the things what Guru says. So we cannot say that why these Gurus are like that. Any Guru, in fact, why God is like that. We cannot compare like an apple to apple kind of thing with, we have to know that ashrama dharmas, pitadipatya dharmas, everything, then we have to do. So we have to be very careful. That's why to do a small Mahavakya Vicharana today, which is Tatvamasi, we have to use Mukhyartha, Gaunartha. In that Gaunartha, which is a Lakshanartha, we understood Ajah-lakshana. That means leaving a word what is there like Gangaya Gosha and adding a new word like Gangatire Gosha. And we tried that, it didn't work. Then Ajah-lakshana. What did we do? Like protect the bird from crow. That Ajah-lakshana. From crow and any other being. We have to remain that crow thing and added something else. We tried that for Tatvamasi. We cannot have that like Tattva and Tvam to be here and do it. So we removed that. Then Ajah-lakshana we did. What is that? We have to keep something, leave something. What is that? Like Soyam Devadatta. That is what even in text generally we see. There are two people, Vishnudatta and Devadatta. They studied maybe in Shrungeri 15 years back. Okay. Now they met in some other place, maybe Kashi. So they were talking each other. Their completely their body forms got changed. They are with all sticks, full beard, etc. Nobody can actually realize. So one person who is Vishnudatta is staying in Kashi, and this Devadatta visited Kashi, and while talking he realized, oh, are you the same person who studied along with me in Shrungeri? Oh, he says, oh, so I am Devadatta. You are that Devadatta. Now, is that the same Devadatta? With name and form, maybe if you see, they might be different. That's why it is difficult to identify. But it is not Shrungeri. So, Tattesha Tatkala, Etaddesha Etatkala. You remove both the time and space, then that Devadatta is you. Soyam. Tattvam. That is how we achieve, that is you. Remove that Kinchik Sarvagnatva, Kinchignatva Bhavana. That Gnya. Even there is a Druk, this is also Druk, which is seeing, everlasting. Is very well same. That's how we achieve this Tatvamasi in our classes. Then, how to practice this one? Should we say like a Nama, Rama Japam like Tatvamasi, no? That is the thing I said, right? We have to do this contemplation. We have to sit in peaceful place like this and do that vichara. I am not this Panchakoshas. Like whatever you studied, try to do that first. Then whenever you are walking, that's what Chandrasekhar Bharati Mahaswami, he instructed Abhinav Vidyadhara Swami. If you see that multifaceted Jivan, excellent, how should a person to contemplate when he is there. When he is walking, it should be like there is just a wave in the ocean and is moving in the ocean itself. That's what we said. Akasha is there. The pot was created in the Akasha, sustained in the Akasha, destroyed in the Akasha. Akasha is always there. So what are we? We are no different from the Paramatma itself. How? That means when we go to Atma Bodha or something, there is an example. Why Chandrasekhar Bhatti Swami gave this example? That Shankaracharya gave that example in Atma Bodha. So in an ocean, there is a wave, there is a whirlpool, there are bubbles. These are just a name and form differences and activity differences of the same ocean, same water. That is still same. They came in the ocean, they sustain in the ocean, they dissolve in the ocean itself. That is what we have to act. And when we say, we are like a pusa, money in a locket kind of thing. I mean the same Brahman, just I am sitting, taking rest. This body is taking rest. That Chaitanya is always there. It should be like that. And when you are sleeping, your thought should be the wave what came up, just it is dissolving the same old Karana. Right? You have to go to the roots where you came. That is how you have to contemplate. So these are like three techniques. Even my guru keep on telling how this Advaita thing comes. What are the steps kind of thing. When you do karma, for example, how should we do that? Soham bhavena pujayet. Maybe if you see. That's what we have to do. Soham bhavena pujayet. I am no different from that. That's why antarmukha samaradhya bahirmukha su durlabha. It is easy to identify here. Difficult to identify outside. Why? Why not? Because what are we trying to find? That Brahman, Atma, whatever. You say it is in me or outside or everywhere, whatever it is. But what is that Atma? The one which is Druk. That means which is seer, right? It is the one which is seeking everything. It is the Sakshi for Sakshi. Where is it happening now? For every individual. It cannot be like a sun rises in the east and we go and see there. Right? It is not a miracle, go somewhere and witness it. Like a sunset point or something. But that Purana eye is coming within us for everyone, every time. That we have to find. That's why Antarmukha Samaradhya. There we have to find it. I cannot find that very I which is in you. Right? Because I myself has a Dehatma Bhranti. With that I am saying you are different. Then how can I really find it? It will never be possible. Unless I find it here, then I can understand, okay, it is everywhere same. That is very easy to do it. So that is why it is that one. When you do karma, you will get to some level. My Guruji keep on saying that the karma siddhanta will be like you have an wooden elephant toy. So you dip it in a water. So it becomes wet only for that point of time. When you take it out, some more time. Then it gets dried out and the natural wood thing will stay. So that is when we are doing karma, all these things. Sometimes we get that feeling like I am Brahman or maybe there is a God. I'm feeling that happiness. I'm maybe involved. I forgot myself. These things we keep hearing, right? This will happen while doing things. But when you go to Bhakti Marga, so it is like dipping a elephant cloth, form of a cloth in the water. Then we ask that cloth, how are you? It will very well speak, Antarbahishchadat Sarvam Vyapta Narayana Swayam. I mean, water is outside, inside, so everywhere it is there. Then we'll take it out, still it will be heavy with that Bhakti Bhavana. Then we will just squeeze it or something, and water will rain off. Sometime it will stay that wet thing, and afterwards it is as usual. What happened to your Bhakti? It will be there when I dip again. So better than karma, Bhakti should be there. But it is also temporary. And how a Jivan Mukta Gnani will be there? That means when you prepare an elephant image with salt, then keep it in this ocean. Then you ask him, how are you, where are you, how are you feeling? You won't get any response. Why is it sleeping? No, it's submerged. It dissolved in its own roots. Where it came? We know, right? Salt comes from the very ocean itself. So when you put it, it dissolves. So whatever the karya karanam, the cause and effect always dissolves in the karanam only, cause itself. That is how Panchabhutas goes like that, and after at the end, Akasha also becomes layam in the same Atma. That means they become avyakta. For the next Srishti, they become Avyakta. So when we say Lord Shiva is the dissolver or whatever, this is what they mean. Is there any Purana or any story literally, or even in a movie, did we really see that Shiva one day came and just destroying all these things with this Shiva? Did we really? No, we never heard. But just like that, people say they don't understand. That's what we have to say. We shouldn't take that Mukhya Ardha, we have to take Gauna Ardha. Vaidika Ardha, Vedanta Ardha, dissolving is, that's it. Because he is the Karana for Karana. Obviously, everything dissolves within him. To understand easily, a pot is made from mud. The mud is full of what? The pot is full of mud itself. But it took a name and shape, name and form. I can very well do some diya kind of thing, glass from the same mud, pots, different variety pots. But it is not different from the mud itself. Right? It itself is mud. When the mud is, the pot or whatever the form we created, that is completely smashed out. What remained? Again the mud. That's why whatever the karana is there, always it is there in the karyam also. Vacharambanam vikaro namadeyam mrittiketyeva satyam. So this is in Vedanta, this is what it is given. Whatever you say in name and form, we are just talking about the mud itself. You know, right? My mother used to teach me. When you get this kind of thunderstorms, we say that Arjuna Parvana Pardakiriti. Like that. So, it is not different from that mud itself. Vacharambanam vikaromanam is just a form changed. Then what is the truth? What is always there before and after? Mrittiketyeva satyam. So in my student, one person asked, so you are saying mud is supreme, Paramatma. I said, did I say Gnanam Anantam Brahma also? Did I say Ananda Swarupam? So I don't know why they will ask. They feel like they have intelligent question. They ask like that. We have to see that example has the limitations for that particular situation. You can't say, if the example is as good as with the reality, this is no longer called an example. We show the reality itself. Because the Brahman thing can be only understandable relatively, tatastha laksham we say, comparatively. We say, that's it. Like how the sun shines, the Guru also shines the gnana in you. Doesn't mean that he becomes hot in the afternoon and sets in the evening. The thing is as bright as that. I mean, you can see things clearly. That means you can see things in Vedanta what? Nitya Anitya Vasuveka, which is Anitya. All these Panchakoshas, three avasthas, all these things, three shariras. I can see very well these are not me, but what is me? Everything, always in the Panchakoshas, all shariras, all avasthas, but not touched by them. That Brahman, that is me. That Viveka, Nitya, Anitya Vastu Viveka. With the blessings or brightness of that Guru's grace, we can understand. That's why we say he is as bright as sun. So we have to, there are a few intelligent people, I don't know who, they want to make me trouble, I don't know, or make fun of class. They come with these kind of strange ideas. So what about night? You know, right, even the moon gets the lighting from sun. Should we really talk all these things? No. That's what we want to understand. It is situational based examples. That's it. So I mean, not to really drag, it's a very nice session. We are nearing to 4. But the topic is very small one, Tatvamasi. In words, text, that's it. It is like an atom bomb. It is like this. Only 3 words. I can do japa, no, you cannot do. Can I do? It's up to you. But Tatvamasi, when you do japa, it is like for someone else, right? Tatvamasi, Tatvamasi, you are that, you are that. Should you do that? No. You have to do Aham Brahmasmi. I am that. I am that. But this is also a word, right? Unless you understand the meaning, how you will become that Aham Spurana, when you remove all these sheets, when you wake up immediately, what you will feel when you are in your own homes? I have to go to office, I have to go to something, I have to cook, I have to go to temple. But before that, I have to go to office, with that space, that void nature, that I emerges first of all. That I, what it thinks, the actual I will be submerged, that is avarana will be there. Then this bodily, that mind feeling will come for us. I am this. Then with that body, my wife, my husband, my children, my family members, my office, my work, I am so and so designated person, etc., etc. will come. So that evolves like that. So it is very difficult. That's why they say remove, get this vairagya. Don't attach to that ego. I saw many people who study shastras, who did some good sadhanas, and say, suddenly when the topic comes in, do you know I did so much sadhana? Gone. I, that kartrutva, bhoktrutva bhavana, I am the doership. Gone case. That means we have to get the result. I mean, we have to also consume the results, right? You have to also take the results. If I say I did sadhana, okay, your package will be ready, sir. Next life, take this one. One more birth. So that's why it is very dangerous. That once that I Spurana comes, gone case. The doership shouldn't be there. With the blessings of Jagadgurus, we are able to speak. And that bhavana should be there. It shouldn't be like everywhere. Even if I am meeting, Guruji gave me this one. Don't make it a habit. I mean, we see people literally they take things. Bhavadvaitam sada kuryat. Kriyadvaitam na karhichit. Not required. Don't tell them, everyone that. They'll get bored. Sir, you are asking something.
Yeah. Tatvamasi was given to some temple, Guruvayur, or how it was
Not
decided
Guruvayur.
by Shankarapada or something like that?
No, it is like, see, Shankaracharya, when he established 4 mats,
Yeah.
4 pithas across this, so he imagined, visualized this Bharata Bhumi as a Yagna Kund. Then Yagna will happen with Vaidika Marga. There are like 4 parts of Vedas now. I mean, Veda is one, but 4 ways we are doing this now, like Rujajur, Sama, Atharvana. So he designated 4 sites to protect Vedas. Unless the Vedic knowledge is protected, the Satbhavana will not happen in this universe. A person like Bharatiya Mahaswami, Vijayakar Bharati Mahaswami, here they are sitting and do tapas. It radiates that Satkarma in like entire world. It protects. We don't know how it protects. We can't see. That's what I said. It is not Indriya Gocharam. But can't we? I think definitely one of you or everybody in one or the other point, you feel like, okay, Guruji gave this opportunity, come. How? Why? That Sankalpa he is seeding, just like sitting and giving that. Let that Astika people get this Satbhavas enough. That itself enough. We should have that good body, that good conditioning of the body to tap that energy in the universe. Like if the rain is coming and we are sitting here, but if we want to enjoy, it will never happen. We have to get out. Like that, if we have the conditioning good with the Satkarmas, Sadacharas, with good Bhakti Bhavana, when the Sankalpa is there, we can tap. We are very living examples here. Otherwise, why other people could not make it? Something would have stopped. Maybe some people would have planned. For me, very well, 3 hours sitting is not boasting. Regularly we sit. And my routine will be, morning we wake up, we do some Anushtana. Like 7 to 8, I attend my Vedanta. My Guruji teaches us. In weekend, for example, I take classes from 8 to 9:30 kind of thing. It is in Telugu, but just I am giving an example. After that, I have to resume my remaining Anushtana. So roughly it will be like 4 hours, we keep sitting. Maybe when this Sankalpa came, I said, okay, 3.5 hours I can make it. I came with a good note, I keep worshipping Shardamba and the Gurujis, please give me this opportunity because that ego shouldn't be there, I can do it. When that my body is in that position to sit for some time, that's the only intention. When I came the very first day, I was able to do. Evening I got fever. Who can imagine this one? I I was like thinking I never had an ego. What is this testing? There are like second I went with the fever only, little hardness. I was able to do it, and I took Guruji's blessings also. Obviously, he's like Murchyunjaya himself. What a small disease can do. And I was like, good. My friends saw my condition. Your face was not the way you came here. That's fine. You can return back to Hyderabad, etc. I said no. If anything happens, let it happen here. We are in the right place. The very moment I went and took Chandra Mauleshwara's Tirtha, that's it. I am very fit to give this pravachan also by Guru's grace. That is, conditions apply always, always, always. Nothing. Otherwise, people like us unable to understand Vedanta is not in a traditional fashion. That's what we have to underline with red ink. We are not doing these things in a traditional fashion. It is very difficult, trust me. And when we are having this Vedanta classes, we can finish only 1.5 page a day or 1 page with Shankara Bhashya. One mantra, the Guruji says, we have to recite it for 10 days, the Santa they say. Then the Bhashyam will go, he will tell, and we have to repeat it 2 times. For each word, we have to know the actual meaning. Actual meaning is Bhavardham also, not Mukhyardham. So it will be difficult. You should have like lifetime commitment. But not everybody can access like that. Shankar Bhagatpada, he foresaw everything. For people like us, he gave this Prakarana Granthas. Very easy. The Tatvamasi and seer are different. Then when you ignore everything what is seen, then the thing what is remain is that you or I. That is what we are. That is elaboratedly seen in called Drishya Viveka. That's an excellent Prakarana Grantha. So maybe that could be your homework in summer maybe. So like that, we have to understand this concept, not that steady matters. But what is the way? With the Chitta Shuddhi, when we try to understand this Tattva, that creates a good platform for us to understand these Vedantic concepts. Because such traits should be there for a human to understand this Vedanta or even Bhakti Marga, whatever. These are just names. Bhakti, when we say that manas part, that mind otherwise. So that takes a priority. And when you say Gnana, that Buddhi will take the priority. Both are Antahkaranas. We should not forget. So that means both are activities of our inner Sharira, that Antahkarana only. So both are same in a way. That's when Viveka Chudamani Shankaracharya clearly says, Gnana Marga, when he is saying, Moksha, Bhakti Eva Gariyasi. The Gnana Marga, Bhakti is the topmost. And what is Bhakti? Swaswarupānusandhāneva Bhakti. So knowing yourself itself is Bhakti. That's what Shankaracharya said. So people just read the first line and say, Shankaracharya also said Bhakti. Yes, of course he said. But he also said what is Bhakti. So we should also see that fact. So now, ultimately, with karmas, when we are doing our religious duties, properly prescribed duties, that leads to Bhakti Marga. That means Chitta Shuddhi. With a purity of mind, heart, soul, whatever we call fancy terms. That becomes a good platform to understand Vedantic concepts. That will be the base for our Shravanam. Then it comes Mananam and Nididhyasana. So a guru can only give Shravanam. He can teach you. You can listen. 10 times you can listen. But unless you do that manana, repetition, practicing, otherwise nobody can help. That's why Uddared Atman Atmanam. Why someone can just give a grant, a boon kind of thing. The ignorance is with me. So to give an easy example, that's Rajya Sarpa Bhranti. There is a rope. 2 people are watching it and one person clearly knows that that's just a rope. But another person is assuming that as a snake. So with the guidance of his friend, the person who is imagining the rope as a snake should understand that is just a rope, not snake, and the fear derived from that illusion is also just a myth or bhranti kind of thing. It cannot be, only the Guru's Upadesha will help us unless we stop hearing or something. That means we have to have an open-mindedness, acceptance, because these are like proven theories. It's not just someone randomly picked up something. That's why we call Shruti Smriti Purananam Aryam Karunarayam for Shankaracharya. Whatever he says, even in this text also, we have Vedic Upanishad text references there. So that's a very big one. So now, why only for human? Because the body itself is prepared like that. And the Gnana Marga is the one which differentiates with any other species. Any other species, they won't use their intellectual, right? They have their limited premises or parameter. They can just act upon only within that limitation. A cat, for example, only can drink milk or jump, steal, that's it. You cannot ask something for a cat to think, understand about its body, leave its dehatma bhranti. It will never happen like that. That's an example. So that's why we say, if any person, for Tarkikas generally we say that ahara vidram bhayamaidunancha, maybe you heard it, right? So samanametat pashubhir narana, gnana videsham visheshakaha, gnana vihina pashubhir nara, pashubhir samanaha. That means for entire living beings, what we wanted, ahara, nidra, bhayam, maiduna. That means reproduction, eating, sleeping, that's it. So that is no difference between any of the dogs, cats or humans. What is the thing that is dividing us from animal instinct is gnana, the intellectual, the need to think, to separate it. What is real, what is unreal. Because they are like completely blended together. That's why we call Paramahamsas. They can just separate which is truth and which is not real. So this is what human life. If anybody says Gnana Marga, why we can quote this sloka and say, we need Gnana for this reason. We are different from animals. That is one. And in Bhagavad Gita also, Nehi Gnanena Sadrusham Pavitramiha Vidyate. There are slokas like that. There is nothing purer than Gnana. Like Gnana Adhitatta Karmani. So there are many references like that which says the importance of Gnana. So when we say Gnana, we talk about Vedantic path only. So they are not different. People cannot say we also use Upanishad but we see Dvaita Prapancha or something else or Bhakti Marga. Then there are little different and they are not understanding concepts properly. So there needs the streamlining of the concepts. So keeping that aside, that's what we are very fortunate to have this Vajrotsava Bharati Mahotsava, and as a part of it, I have this privilege to participate in Japa there. Like we say, right, Yagno Yagnena Kalpatam and Rudram. And Mahaswamiji, he himself gave Upadesha, and now it is our turn to just give that for a Loka Kalyana purpose. And that is our fortunate, like Swami Karyam Swakaryam kind of thing. And this kind of thing came suddenly, and yesterday night, in fact, Gautamji called me and said, can you take a session? And I said, I'm so happy to participate here. Only one thing, when we see Vidishekar Bharati Swami, how quick, dynamic, we don't even feel whether he is really sleeping or taking rest. I think everywhere he is. When you go to Ajah-lakshana, you can see him. When you go to Guru Nivas, he will be there. When you go to Sharadama, he will be there. That's what, like Ishvara is everywhere. So you can see that in every activity is conducted in his accordance. He knows what is happening. And he does his own anushtana and everything. And all these things, why he is doing? Guru Bhakti. Nothing. Just like the Guru Bhakti, such a great level, he has only Guru Bhakti, nothing else. When he left entire family, everything, just to stay with his Guru. Can we imagine the Guru-Sishya relationship? And the Guru himself is like that. He left everyone just to obey his Guru. And he has now a small relationship, his Sishya. And not for himself, for us, that too, for Peetham. So that's such a beautiful relationship. After seeing Jagat Gurus, we should also be like full busy with some or the other Satkarmas, good activities. It cannot be like a lazy kind of thing. Any minute, it should be good if we study or practice, do this Shravana Manana kind of thing. So that's what also brings me to engage myself very busy with these activities. And again, pranamams to Ubhay Jadgurus and Sharda Chalandeshwaras. And today, now actually we are entering into our topic, that is Tatvamasi. So Tatvamasi we heard many times, that is a Upadesha Vakya. In Vedanta, Upanishad, Vedas, Chandogya Upanishad, this Tatvamasi is a Mahavakya, belongs to Chandogya Upanishad, Samaveda. So, in brief, in a higher level view, if you want to see, Tatvamasi means you are that. But we are talking about Aham Brahmasmi. So that is experiencing thing. That is Upadesha Vakya. Aham Brahmasmi is Anubhava Vakya. I mean, Guruji will say, for example, we went for Guruji's blessing and he says, everybody chant Shri Rama Jai Rama Jai Jai Rama. What we do Shri Rama Jai Rama Jai Jai Rama. Right? Like this, if Guruji says Tatvamasi, we shouldn't say Tatvamasi to him again. If Guruji says, you are that, you should not say you are that. Then we should say Aham Brahmasmi, not just for a word's sake, but with experience we have to say that. So after all the teachings, everything when the Sishya was able to receive, then at the end as a concluding portion, like a capsulated form, this Tatvamasi will be given for Nidhityasana, sometimes Manana. Manana is somewhere repetitions, you are in that contemplation. Nidhityasana is you become that. So it is like you hold some salt, put it in an ocean. Oh, salt comes from ocean, right? So it blends now. Now if we ask, can we take this, can we return my salt, exactly the one what I poured in the ocean? It will never happen. So that is a Jivan Mukta Avastha when they get this Nidhityasana. So there are little variations in the mokshas like Sarupya, Sarukya, Samipya, Sayujya and Jivan Mukta. So there are Viveka Chudamani, those were dealt briefly because that is not our current topic. I am not really going there and controlling myself. Sadhana Chatushtayam is one we have to thoroughly understand. Any book, any sadhana, any prakarana when you have, Sadhana Chatushtaya. Vedantins should know all these things. There are 4 steps for sadhana. Is it like one after the other? Everything is parallel. Everything we need to possess. One is Viveka, second is Vairagya, third is Shamadhi Shatka Sampatti, fourth is Mumukshatva. Viveka, when we say Nityanitya Vastu Viveka, that is where we are studying all these things. Why I am talking about Sadhana Chatushtayam is this Tatvamasi talks about Viveka. So what is you, what is not you kind of thing. So then, after this Viveka Vairagya and Samashatka Sampatti and Mumukshatvam, when the Sishya or we as the Sishyas practice and get, Guruji will definitely show his blessings with this kind of Mahavakyas. There are many Mahavakyas. What is a Mahavakya first of all? Can anything be Mahavakya? No. Mahavakya is one which establishes a relationship between Jivatma and Paramatma. That means which says that there is an Abheda Bhavam between Jivatma and Paramatma. So I cannot say Narayana Namaha is a Mahavakya. In this sense, if you say as a word,
what is Abheda?
Abheda is non-difference. Jiva and Paramatma are not different, they are one. So that is Advaitam. There is no two. But in the Drishya Prapancha, you see, you always witness 2 things, like Druk Drishyam, that's what I started with.
Yeah.
But in reality, there are more. We can just imagine our dream state. We very well have the dream, there is like this kind of beautiful environment. We see ourselves doing some activities. But when we wake up, what happened to all these things? Like that, even these 3 avasthas, Jagrat, Swapna, Sushupti, all these 3 avasthas also are like a mithya, bhranti. Temporarily we feel that is real. But when we wake up, we're not like us waking up from sleep, waking up from ignorance. Then we will understand this is also just like a dream. So that state we have to get from our practice. That can only happen without practice only. That means I can say, you can have one chocolate that is sweet. But if you want to understand what is sweet, you have to consume it. It is like that. So this Tatvamasi also talks about Tatvamasi. To see that there are like 3 words. Tat is that in English, if we want to just truly translate, literally. So Tat always talks about Brahma Padartha, Brahman, Tat, when that, like Tat, that maybe it came later, we don't know. So whenever you say, even in Ramayana, always when they say Tattvacha Padam, always talks about Brahma Murti. What is Brahma? That is what we need to understand. So Brahma means, everybody knows, right? Satya Gnanam Anantam Brahma. That's it. I mean, it is everlasting Satyam, the truth, only truth, the Gnanam, the Chaitanya Swarupam. That means even the Jadas, like the body, it is Jadam, right? And Jadam is like, maybe not, Jadam is like, it is not active on its own. It does not have freedom to do whatever it wants to do.
It is not growing.
It has some limitations. For example, in sleep, it just sleeps, right? So, but still I am awake. Who am I? I can witness the dream. When I wake up from the dream, in this Jagrata, which is the waking state, I know very well I had a dream. That means even in the dream state, I am there. Even in waking state, I am there. Even in Sushupti, which is so-called deep sleep state, I am still there. But I know that I am experiencing great ananda there. That's it. That too when I wake up. So that's why Shunyavada is also nullified over there. They thought Shunyavada, which is a Sushupti Avastha, where we do not have this dream state or even waking state, they felt that itself is a great Ananda Sthiti. Not great, Ananda Sthiti for some portion, that's it. Still, Avarana is there, Vikshepa is not there. Maybe you would have known this. Avarana is something we cannot identify the truth. Vikshepa is something we are identifying the truth in a different form. Like, everywhere the Brahma, everything is superimposed on Brahma, but we are stuck with Nama Rupas. Asti bhati priyam Nama Rupa ityamsha panchakam. Adyatrayam Brahma Rupam tadotvayam Jagat Rupam. Jagat Rupam tadotvayam. That means Asti bhati priyam. That's what these three Asti. There is a Brahman. It is everywhere. When? Every time. It does not have a time limitation like future, past or something. So every time it is there, it is present. Bhati is Kanti, Prakasham. Not that light, it's a Chaitanya. I mean, that is what making everything active, like a current. Priyam, because there is that itself is Rasovaisaha, like it's an Ananda Swarupa, the Brahman itself. We are superimposing this Nama Rupas on Brahman. So we are feeling that Anandam is elsewhere. That's what Guruji also said. It is for our sake we are consuming everything or accepting everything, going into this external world. Atmanastu kamaya sarvam priyam bhavati. It is for my sake I am interacting with this world. If I am not getting anything, why will I interact with the world? Right? So that's what. So asti bhati priyam. That is what when we say tat padartham. This is asti bhati priyam. Satya Gnanam Anantam Brahma, all these things come to that attribute. It is Sarva Vyapi, Ananta Vyapakatvat, if you can say Nirguna, Nirdosha, everything, all, Trigunatmaka, Triyavastha, Avasthatita, all these things come to the that Tat Padartha Lakshana. Now there is a second word which is Tvam. That is you, because it is like Upadesha Vacha, Guru is saying to Sishya. So that is somewhere, it is everywhere. It is like Satyajnana Anantam Brahma, it is like pure, it is Nirmala, Nirguna, Nirakara, everything. But when it comes to you, so what is that you? We feel like we are kinchikna, we're like limited to this body. We have a limited Chaitanya. We don't know what is happening elsewhere. So then, that is you. That is what we are thinking, that is what we are. Because of this bodily attachment, Dehatma Bhranti. I am thinking this is the body, then I am thinking my soul is also in this body only, limited to this body. Asi is something Aikyam. Aikyam is this Tat Padartham, which is like everywhere, like supreme, ultimate kind of thing. And Tvam, which is within your body, thinking that what you are, if you introspect with this Panchakosha Vicharana. Maybe you covered that Panchakosha Vicharana anyway. I will give a little briefing, if not. So with that, you will know what is you actually. After explaining these two, Tat and Tvam, then we say, Asi, there is a unity between them. Not exactly unity, they both are same. That is what. Unity is something, again, 1 plus 1 becomes 2. There is a limitation with this English, so you have to excuse me. So that we have to accept that fact. That's what we say, right? Even words and even manas cannot reach that Brahman. So when we are translating it in English, so there will be flaws with this language, so we have to accept it. And keeping that aside, so now Tatvamasi is the Vakya, what Guru gives the Upanishad. Now how to understand this? Tatvamasi. Then we have to always, I'll just give a small briefing on this Panchakosha Vicharana first. Panchakoshas is like 5 layers. So that's a pure core concept in Advaita Vedanta. Everybody should really know it. In Taittiriya Upanishad, you can know these mantras, but even Viveka Chudamani, even in here also, somewhere Shankaracharya mentioned all this. So there is Annamaya, Pranamaya, Manomaya, Vijnanamaya, Anandamaya Kosham. Anandamaya, don't forget, it's not Ananda. There people will think, okay, Anandamaya is Ananda. No, Anandamaya, still you are feeling that attribute. Annamaya is something, we have 3 shariras, right? Stula, Sukshma, Karana. Stula is this one, what you can see physically with these indriyas, made up of these sapta dhatus, all these bones, blood, this meat or whatever, the skin. So when we give this, so generally when I say I came here, obviously I am referring to this body, right? That is Dehatma Bhranti, that itself is Dehatma Bhranti. But if you call me, sir, can you just give a pravachan kind of thing, then I say, okay, let my body come and sit and give you, how you will feel? You will feel somewhere this fellow is disconnected. So in Vyavahara we will talk normally, but when you experience it, that's what we say Advaitam is something not with Vyavahara, it is with experience. We have to be very careful when are we using these Advaita concepts. We cannot just take this concept, understand it, by heart it, and just use it in our general materialistic life. That is not suitable. So that's what we have to remember. This Annamaya Sharira, why this is called Annamaya? Annamaya is like food, right? Unless there is a food, this will not grow, this body. If we stop the food, this is also gone. Plus, and if you take this body and put it for a queer animal or something, this becomes food to that. So that is also a reason it's called Annamaya Sharira. So is that you? Cannot be. Because when it sleeps, still I am having a dream state kind of thing. When I am sleeping, if someone is just talking to me, saying this kind of Advaita concepts, when they are sleeping, I am not listening, right? So that means actually I is waking up, it's still there, but this sheath, this layer is not doing that activity. So this Deham is not, and also there are like Deha Dharmas, right? I mean it gets a birth and death, and it grows, it diminishes, something like that. So Atma cannot have like that, it's everlasting thing. So that's why Deham, the Annamaya Kosham cannot be Atma or you. That's what. Then next comes to Pranamaya. Pranamaya. There are like 5 Mukhya Pranas we have. There is one Prana, Mukhya Prana. That's what gives the life. It is doing like 5 activities in 5 different places in the body. Then it takes 5 different names. Prana, Apana, Vyana, Udana. 5 more. Naga, Kurma, Kukara, Dhanjaya, Devadatta. These are like different names as per the activities. Can it be Atma? The reason is, why are we getting this doubt is, in 3 avasthas, in Jagrata avastha, in Swapna and Sushupti avastha, the prana is still there. That's what we say, right? In all the states, the Atman is there. Then these Vayus, the pranas are also available and present in all the 3 states. Why can't it be Atma? So then the question comes, the answer is, if that is Atma, it should be stable. It cannot go out and come. And I am able to control my breathing. That's what Kumbhaka, Rechakas, I can do. That means there is someone who can control that. Atma itself is supreme. If that is supreme, there cannot be any other person on top of it to control it or regulate it. That means Pranamaya Kosham is also not the one Atma. Then we took out that layer also. Like for corn, we take out the layers, right? So that's how. Then comes to Manomaya Kosha. Manas is our Sankalpa Vikalpa Sanghata. I mean, it has the desires. I want this, I don't want that. So can it be? Because we keep saying, right, body present, mind absent. Since childhood, that is the complaint we keep listening. And even here, maybe we don't, after lunchtime, they give this one. So body can be very well present, Sthula Sharira, the Annamaya Sharira. Mind absent, we don't know where it is. That happens, that can happen very well. Because I have a responsibility, maybe I'm controlling, who knows. That's like forced environment. So this manas is sankalpa vikalpa sanghata. But we have to go to the basic again. We have to compare with the Atma. Atma should be stable. It cannot change. I want this, I want that. And apart from Atma, is there any other thing first of all? So then Manas, if it is asking, I want something, that means it has a Dvaita Prapancha itself. So it cannot be. And even now, for example, if I want someone is getting sleep, for example, then we feel like, okay, this is a very small group and there's a camera in front of that. So someone might record. Then you will control your sleep, right? That means even for Manas, there is someone above it, like a Buddhi or something, who can regulate it, control it. That is also a reason your Manas cannot be Atma. And this very Manas, whatever we are telling, will also sleep or nap during Sushupti Avastha. We know that, right? Puritati Nadi, that is what in Yoga Shastra say, it sleeps there. I mean, it takes rest. So, and again it comes back. Then in Drudrisha, that's what they say. It sleeps means it. We have to understand that becomes an avyakta form. We can't understand whether it is present or not. It is present in a way. That's why we say, I had a sound sleep. It is there, but avyakta. It is not the supreme. So Manas activities happen only in that Jagrat and Swapna Avastha. Jagrat, it is like behind the screen, like a director. This body is the hero. In Swapna, that Manas itself is director, hero, heroine, everything. Right? The dream, it itself will do everything, that magic. So that cannot happen. It cannot be like these many conditions apply kind of thing to this Manas. So this cannot be Atma. Just remove that shit also. Then comes to Vijnanamaya Kosha. Vijnanam is an intellectual. Nischayarthakam, Nischayatmakam. That means it says, this is good, this is bad. We want this, we don't want that. It can decide it. The decision making thing is Buddhi. So can that be an Atma then? Because that is also regulating Manas, or this mind. Can that be our Atma? Then again, it is able to take a decision. And in our experience, if we say, maybe we will also have that, we might have encountered that. Like, I would have taken a right decision certain point of time. That means someone is also seeing, watching that Buddhi, that I have taken a wrong decision, I have taken a right decision. That means Buddhi is Sakshi, but there is a Sakshi for the Sakshi. So that means even this Buddhi cannot be our Atma. Because it is not functioning properly, and because of thorough studies and sadhana, chitta shuddhi, sadachara, then the Buddhi actually works properly. Otherwise, there is no difference between an animal and a human. So that is also a reason Buddhi cannot be considered as Atma. Then comes to Anandamaya Kosha. Anandamaya is the very one what we talked in this Sushupti Avastha, that we felt immense joy, but it is very temporary. Because after that deep sleep or sound sleep and you would experience that Ananda, you wake up again in dream state, then again in Jagrat. That is one. And when you are really experiencing Ananda in the Sushupti Avastha, you are not able to feel that it is me, the very form of Ananda. And only when you wake up, then you realize I had a sound sleep. That means the Avarana is still there. There is no Vikshepas. Vikshepa is Vishwam. There is no waking state, there is no dream state. But we don't even know there is a Brahman also, or we are Brahman also. So So it is like I got a Ganesha idol and I kept it like this. And I showed you, what is this? With that form you can guess, oh, this is Ganesha idol. But what is this? This is just a cloth. It is like that. The Sushupti Avastha is like that. So Avarana is still there. You are not understanding that is a Brahman. If you really understand, you won't come back to this dream state and waking state. You will stay as an Ananda Swarupa itself. That's why it's called Anandamaya Kosha. But now we are talking about Ananda. Anandam Parabrahmeti is something, again, it is an attribute for Tat Padartha. But Tvam we are saying it is Ananda Kosha only, just take it out. There is the residing of this you, the very you, which is the Druk. You are watching everything. Now I am watching what are my thoughts, how is my pranas happening, what is my body doing. That means I can witness all these Pancha Koshas. This is what we understand for Tvam Padartha. You are Tvam. Now can we say, if I stop this lesson now and say let us meet tomorrow, then everybody will say, what you will break your head, right? Or break my head. Because like it is like fixed. I mean, I showed one direction, there is something else over there, and something else this side. And I am saying both are same. That is what Tat and Tvam. How can there is a unity, or I am talking about the same thing? That is the Tatvamasi Vichara we have to do. Now actually we are entering into this much, and with a very disciplined manner, with the Guru, we have to sit and understand for some months or years. The Tatvamasi simply he kept in Prakarana Granthas, like Vivek Chudamani, these Granthas, any other Granthas. So it should be reachable for us. So that is the Parama Karunya of Jagat Gurus. And that is also Sankalpa of our Jagat Gurus, to have these kind of campaigns, choose people, and like Parasparam, we help each other to improve ourselves every day. So that is sadhana. Now it is also our turn. How Jagat Guru is helping us, we have to also radiate this. We cannot be like selfish. At least we have to influence our own family, our own neighbors, not to eat their brain and brainwash them. Make them understand what is the underlying, what are the factuals, what is the true Peetham. Entire world, if we say, show me one Guru Sthana, obviously it is only Sringeri, none other place. So that is the fact. So there is a parampara. So that's why do not, you people are not like that, just I am saying, we should not go with any small fruits kind of thing and leave this kind of great Pitas or Vedanta knowledge and go for a small materialistic benefits. They are nothing actually. That's why in Dharma Shastras, when they say one example they give. There is one person came, he wants to get a mango fruit. So what he has to do? He has to keep a seed of it. When the tree came big, like after some years, that meant there is a time always tied to us. When the tree came, it obviously gave fruit. Along with the fruit, it gives nice fragrance, shade also. Is this his intention while he is keeping the seed? No. So when you want this moksha marga, obviously these ardhakamas will follow you. You need not put an extra effort. They will follow. Your intention is that fruit, but the shade and the fragrance will come, obviously, as a secondary benefits for you. So that is how we have to understand this tattva, and that's why in Bhagavad Gita also when you read now, Vetti Mam Tattvaha, Tattvadarshinaha, Tattva, this Tatvamasi only. Don't feel that is a different Tattva. Don't say the Narayana Tattva is different, like Shankhu Chakra, Gada, Padma should be there. Don't go with that illusion. There Krishna Paramatma is that is Bhagavan Vacha. Nirguna Nirakara, just to just realize the souls. He came in that form. Ishwaradena Anugrahena. Pumsam Advaita Vasana, they say, right? Only with the blessings of Ishvara, this Advaita Vasana we keep hearing. And this Namarupa also, he will take only to improvise us, or to give us moksha, to give tarinchadam, they say, right? To give us this next good lives, all these things. So you have to understand these things. So whenever you see Saguna Sakara Rupam, you have to think very well that is also Nirguna Nirakara Rupam for our sake. Upasakanam Karyardam Brahmano Rupa Kalpana. For our sake he came like that. So imagine that, that's what Bhavadvaitam Sada Kuryat. It doesn't mean that put Vibhuti to Narayana and give that Paspu Vasras to Ambika. Not like that, don't do that. Shastra, I said. Kriyadvaitam Nakar Hechit. You should be very, very careful. Anything is same. Why can't I put Tulasi leaf to Ganesha? Is he not Varam Brahma? He is, but Shastra says not to. You should be careful. So that don't use Advaita wherever you wanted. So they use this sloka for correcting ourselves whenever these things come into our picture. Okay, so whenever you read, whenever you see, whenever you hear Tattvam, they are talking about this Tatvamasi very much. Vettimam Tattvadaha. No, with Tattva means he is talking this one. So when you go to Guru also, Tattvadaha, Vettimam Tattvadaha. I mean, learn like this, understand the Tattva like this. So remember this fact, whenever you say Tattvam, use this only, don't say go to stories again. When you listen to stories, Puranas, enjoy that, the same Saguna Sakara Rupa, which is in me, I am that. But that took this Ishvara form, because that is an elevated soul already. So that is what I am listening. So he is very well inside me. Listen with that bhava. Don't think that is again, don't get disconnected. So that is how we achieve Tatvamasi. He is very well inside me. Hruddeshe Arjuna Tishtati, Advaitam only, there also he said. Right? So when I think now we understand what is Tatvamasi, is a Mahavakya which cannot be achieved with word-to-word meaning. So we understood or learned today Tarkam, little Tarka, reasoning, how to use this Gaunartha. That means how to apply this in approach to understand, that's it. Ajah-lakshana is the one what we are able to achieve this Tatvamasi. Then the Advaita Siddhi happened. With this, by the grace of Gurujis and Sharadamba, I am concluding this preaching. Hara Namah Parvati Pataye, Hara Hara Mahadev, Shambho Shankara. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.